for that too sweet play-in, and welcome back all you four-color funny book aficionados. This is US Comics Cast, Chapter 3, HQ for all things comic book related. I am John Rivera, the CEO and co-founder of US Comics.
And that, of course, makes me your COO, your favorite fat Ghostbuster, your favorite Puerto Rican stallion, the hoodie wearing, pie eating, brown-being son of a gun, Charlie Rivera.
Right.
How are you today? Happy Comic Book Day, John.
Happy Comic Book Day to you. I gotta admit, I also do very much enjoy pies. I also am well as definitely Puerto Rican as you. Like, you're
but you're
grabbing
not
up a lot
anyone's
of
favorite.
titles.
And I was talking about poontang pie, not cherry pie, not pumpkin pie, none of those, not a blueberry pie.
Immediately, Charlie goes directly off the reservation.
Yeah.
Not selling turquoise jewelry, not selling fireworks. He don't give a damn. But Charlie, I gotta say this, with as much as is clearly going on in the world, we are very much on the cusp of World War III, so it's a damn good thing that we play all these first-person shooters. And
That's
I know
factual.
me personally, when it comes to first-person shooters, there is one sumbitch that I think of first, also as well as this rapscallion, actually for once in like a 50-year relationship, rough approximation, for the first time he has given me something to work with, something of value, something that, dare I say, I, as CEO of US Comics, was not aware of, and that is a very dope TV show called From. I am referring to none other than one of our very own sponsors of US Comics Cast, the Sergeant Finesse. Bring him in. Oh, snappy, nappy dugout. Let's go. The Sarge is in the house.
We gotta change the branding because the Sarge is here. We
Yeah.
gotta add it's a corporate requirement, I think.
Whoa, there it is. I like it.
I love it. Charlie, however much we have paid for that branding, I immediately need to see a receipt. Woo! So,
Tax time.
folks, we have pulled him away from... Yeah, Javier,
Look at
right
Javier
away.
showing the back muscles.
Javier just real quick flexing on us, literally and
Flex.
figuratively. So, let's just go ahead and get it out of the way right now. The bottom line is this. We often will do this at the halfway mark, but I think it's probably a good idea to do it now.
Oh my God.
The fact of the matter is that on more than one occasion, someone will pull you aside. They'll say, hey, buddy, they'll throw their arm around your neck and pull you in close and say, have I got a show for you? Oh, you're gonna love it. Oh, this show is the shiznits. And then like a dummy, you're like, okay, let me run home and go check it out. But then when you put that show on, it turns out it stinks on ice. And you know why? Because that sumbitch was just like George Lucas was a goddamn liar. And George Lucas was a liar because Han shot. First, let's put him up, Sarge. Put him up. Welcome to the club. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Salute.
Oh God.
Oh,
That's delicious. God damn it.
Now
The
as
double
is
gopher.
tradition, as is tradition, we gotta let the people know about a little bit of pre-show. And the Sarge has grumble belly, and I'm positive that shot didn't help.
I got rumble in the brisance.
Yeah, you guys are seeing it in first. Usually, the Sarge's dedicated followers, they have to catch what's going on in Sarge. They got him in the corner. They're looking for the little squints in the eye, and he's got the gaming glasses on, so he hides it well. But ooh, you got the Sarge in a 33%.
I do this. I'm like, up.
And then you just hear the little combat boots run across the bunker. Goosh. Anyways, so again, anyone who knows this show, anyone who knows USComics, anyone who knows, frankly, Sergeant Finesse on both Facebook Gaming and the Purple Site Twitch knows me and Sarge go back.
Yeah.
So we have a well-established open border policy of, hey, check this out. Hey, did you see this? Hey, what about that? And sometimes it goes off well. Sometimes we come in the next day scowling, you're like, that sucked. Don't ever talk to me again. All right, I'll see you at lunch.
I don't remember any of those, though.
They happen. They happen, but
I don't remember.
This was not one of them, Sarge. I gotta give it to you, dude.
So he basically just said that everything I said to him sucked, except this one fucking show.
Not always. Not always. Oh, what's up, Joker stream coming in from the Purple Site Twitch.
What's up?
Yeah, so Sarge came correct with this one, and I like a little
Charlie,
baby.
Is he gonna say he doesn't like the shit? I see
like
the
a
face.
narc. I went running right to Charlie. I'm like, Charlie, you gotta watch. I even told him how to watch it for free because I'm a good big brother like that. Dude, this show from. This is the name of the show. I don't want to confuse. It's like, what's on first?
Yeah,
From is the show. Yeah, from where? No, From is the name of the show.
Who's on first?
R-O-M From.
It's fucking good, man.
That
So
show
good,
is
man.
not to bury the lead. That show is as good as that title is shit. Because John is like, yo, Sarge says you should check out this show From. And I was like, fucking Sarge liked Last of Us 2. I can't trust him. From.
Last of Us 2 was good. It wasn't that bad.
Terrible.
What?
So I'm like,
Charlie has strapped him on. He is ready to dive deep in the duty. I could tell. Just by the little curl in the lip.
It took all of 8 minutes into that show. At first, I was mad. As the logo for this wonderful episode implies, there is an RV scene, and I'm watching this, and I'm thinking, if Sarge and his little X-Man and John have tricked me into watching some family drama, I'm gonna be furious. And next thing I know, there's like a window monster and exposed rib cages. From is the jam. So much so, of the three of us, I was the last one to watch it. I've seen one more episode.
I know. I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Charlie was in the backyard with a rock. He was just like hammering in little angelic symbols to hang up. His girl's like, yo, what are you doing? Decorations. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Sarge, I gotta throw it to you right away, dude. With as much time as you spend front of the sticks, he's gaming on PC, he's gaming on console, he's gaming on Facebook, he's fucking gaming on Twitch, he's probably gaming on Commodore 64. He just doesn't stream it.
I'm gaming in the bed at night, everything. Goddamn.
Whoa.
Relax.
We know El General just got back, so we don't need to hear about it. How did you come across this show? I heard nothing. Javier, it's on Epix. And on Epix.com, this is how you can watch it legally. Just to protect our other sponsors. Legally, you can watch the first 3 episodes on Epix.com. And then I think like the subscription is like 99 cents for a decade. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much.
There are also other methods out there to watch it if you don't mind. Alternative routes. But Sarge, I gotta ask you.
I'll let you guys know what that is.
Yeah, do it on your stream. Sarge, where did you find this show, dude?
Dude, someone came into the stream. It was like,
stream?
Have you seen From? And then I was like, what? And then 10 minutes later, someone else, did you see this show From? I'm like, what the fuck is From? What are you talking about? I never heard of this shit.
Were they cast members from the show? Like,
probably.
Not only have
Orlando said it to me. Orlando, I think.
I've never heard of it. I had never heard anyone who had heard of it before. The guy beeping the horn outside, he never heard of it. Like,
dude, this
is
show,
it just me? Am I the only one? I guess.
This show gives me the feels of like The Walking Dead, beginning of The Walking Dead meets Children of the Corn. That's what I feel like a little bit. I love this fucking show. I got sucked in right away. The fucking talisman thing. I really want to see where that's gonna go. Like the whole story behind the talisman, but and these suckers and these freaking monster suckers, like who? Like what is this? They're not ghosts.
Why they gotta try play you dirty like that?
But let me ask you a question: Are they showing I don't want to really, blow up the show, but are they showing people?
We could try to give an episode breakdown of the first four episodes. I barely know what the fuck's going on.
We could take the script and put it up on the screen, and still nobody would know what the fuck is going on, because the best part, in my opinion, about this show thus far, they literally haven't answered any questions. They're just like, oh, you were wondering about that?
Yeah.
Here's 10 more questions.
Yeah.
You got. So my initial reaction was this. Yo, this is as if Stephen King, who we know is my boy. He's my boy. It's as if Stephen King, who also loves the show, as if Stephen King had wrote Lost. That was the feeling that I got.
While watching Walking Dead.
Yeah, eating airplane food.
there is something so hilarious to me though, because it's in the trailer for the show. They're like, greatest show in television history, Stephen King. I'm like, you're not allowed to show support for a thing you inspired. Like, clearly the writers of From are like John, like they just finished it like for the 8th time, and they're like, let's steal the best ideas from this shit.
Man.
I mean, that's probably his, like, there's just something about this show. I goddamn love it. What's up, Orlando?
I think Orlando, you're the one that told me about From. I think it was him who said something about it.
Orlando, this is your opportunity to get triple company recognition. And honestly, at this point, we wouldn't even know if you were lying. So, knock
honestly,
out.
I prefer, I mean, much like the show, not only do I not know what the fuck's going on, I keep coming up with like wild, lost type ideas.
They're dead. They're in purgatory.
There's a creepy old man in the show.
Javier.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, it's Javi.
There's a creepy old man on the show, and there's a little mouth-breathing child on the show, and my brain went like, they're the same. This is time travel. Makes no sense. It's a terrible theory. And I watched 3 episodes thinking that shit.
Javier, you lying son of a bitch.
I'm
That's
lying.
it. Give me 50 extra reps or whatever the hell you were lifting just now.
So let's go over what we do know, though. Okay,
do it. Hit us with the sergeant.
Some people have been there over 3 years. Number one, right? Also, now I don't know if this is right or not, but when they seen some of these people, are they showing them who they know? Because the girl was like, you don't look like my grandma. But when they were running up to the house, and the guy said something to the girl, like he kind of knew she knew who he was a little bit.
He was like, "What's up, girl?"
So is it showing you like
the house is looking pretty good?
Yeah, like is it like getting in your head and saying like, so I got to see my dad outside or some shit? Like,
that was the gist that I got.
Let's just take a second, because I don't think we made it particularly clear. The show is about like a shitty little town.
Yeah.
And
middle of nowhere.
Like once you get to that town, you're stuck in that town.
So it's done.
There's no leaving. So you drive down the street and it's like Nightmare on Elm Street. You go down Flintlock. Next thing you know, you pull up on Flintlock. One of the scariest fucking scenes in that show so far happens in episode 1, where a guy is driving with his wife and can't find where the fuck to go, stops for directions, still lost. Yo, you fucked, dude.
But the funniest part was when he's like, should we tell him now? Nah, let him drive for a little while.
Yeah.
Then they tried to play him with the road spikes. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna do him dirty like that. What's wrong with you?
Well, no. See, so again, the show's about a town. Once you're in, you can't get out. And we pick up on a family that winds up in that town, and it starts right out the gate that all we know, you can't get out the town, and at sundown, monsters show up.
Crazy suckers.
And like the monsters, like Sarge was saying, you hear like a little rat-a-tat-tat on your window, and they're real
second floor.
Yo, Sarge, remember your 7th grade girlfriend? That's me. Come say what's up.
Hello.
Come say hello. Then you
copy
come
your
say
homework
hello.
off of me.
And then that broad kind of looks like your seventh
Nah,
grade
see,
crush.
I think
It
you guys
sounds
are
like
off.
vampire-ish a little bit, like let me in.
Well,
you know?
here's the thing.
Vampire-ish.
That gave me, that was the Stephen King of it all. Like
Yeah.
that scene specifically gave me like Salem's Lot.
Remember when
vibes.
he's on the window?
Yeah,
With the nails?
even
I love that
Salem's
movie.
Lot begat damn the Lost Boys. Remember the brother
Yeah.
like floats up, he's like, yo, let me in.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
straight Salem's Lot reference, and here it is again. So now here's the thing. They gut these people like you
Oh man.
like you monsters eat swine. They opened this. There was nothing
You
left, dude. They took all the good stuff. There was no giblets left. There was no sausage. There was no Vienna fingers. Nothing.
They leave you looking like the turkey from Christmas Vacation.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Just a rib cage and dry as fuck skin.
Rude.
Some gristle in
No
there.
one
Yeah.
was, yo, you know what I hate about that? In episode 2 or 3, someone's talking about their tragic background because nobody has a happy background when zombie monster vampires are around. So this broad's being like, I hear them. I'm going to change things so it's not a spoiler. Yeah, so they have my cousin in the woods and they start killing him. And like 45 minutes later, I still hear my cousin screaming because the monsters enjoy fucking you up.
Yeah.
Shit's
They're
Call
like
of Duty
hunters.
to them.
Rude.
They're
That's
like, oh,
you're
triple high
eating
score.
a ham sandwich and just smiling the whole time. You're like, fuck this pig. Nom 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 nom.
Dude, and they are smiling the whole time. You're like, John.
Teddy.
They're like this. They're like, John, how you doing? And they look around.
Rude.
It's like, what? It's so weird.
Wrong.
What up, Teddy?
Don't you remember me?
So here's the thing. Now this is my impression, and obviously it's
Creepy
only
motherfuckers.
on one viewing. This is one of those shows that since it's dropping weekly. I mean, they gave us these first several in a lump, but now it's going to be weekly, which
Yeah.
I have no patience for. But I'll do it because they already sucked me. They gave me that first hit off the pipe first. I'm like, I'm addicted now. Thanks a lot. So
And I'm a crackhead.
What is?
So, but when it wraps up, then I'm gonna go and binge the whole season for those little minute
Yeah.
details. Because the gist that I got was they look right. They look the way that the person I believe who they're targeting remembers that person, right? So they look right. But then the little girl was like,
Yeah, you don't
really
look like my
sound-"
grandma.
No,
No,
she
said
said
you
you
don't-
don't sound like my grandma.
No, she said. I thought she said, look.
I
Are you
would have to
sure?
double check.
I thought, look.
I'm
I think you're
99%
wrong.
Sure. We'll see. It wouldn't be the first time.
But
Not gonna
that's
be the
what messed
last.
me up. That's what messed
Yeah,
me up.
well-
I'm like, so is it or is it not? I'm confused a little bit
Well,
now.
no matter what, they're not perfect. So, like,
Yeah.
that's an added level of creepy as fuck. That's like, again, on Sarge's window, rat-tat-tat, and it's me being like, yo, it's John, let me in. You're like, once you get stung by some bees? And I'm like,
No.
whatever, I want to eat your groin, bro.
I disagree. It's
Whoa,
gonna
John,
be
whoa, John.
it's gonna be rat tat tat on Sarge's window in the bunker, and he's like, "Yo, I'm 50 feet on the ground. How are you at my window?" And I'll be like, huepa, Sarge, it's me, John, your boy. Let me in, Holmes." And Sarge's gonna be like, "That doesn't sound exactly like my boy."
But
John."
you have
I'm
the
like,
white
"You
beard."
racist motherfucker.
The beard is white though, so it looks the same a
That's
little
true.
bit.
The whiteness of my beard whitens up my speaking voice. Also, that's an actual real thing.
That's science. That's how that works.
So we
No,
talked
that is the
about
interesting part though.
we talked about the connections to Lost. Now, one of the obvious one was the lead character,
Definitely feels like Lost, like the way it feels.
the sheriff, Harold Perrineau, and I'm positive that I'm mangling his name. Now,
I
this
like
is
him. He's a great actor.
He's a great actor. This is one of those guys that every time you see him in something, my thought is, why isn't he a lead? Like he
Yeah.
should be the top cat. And honestly, Sarge, you talked about Walking Dead, and he's literally and figuratively taken up that Rick role. He's
Yeah.
a damn sheriff. He's like looking after everybody. There's two different camps of survivors in the town.
Yeah,
the
I like
camp
that.
of hippies. I'm like, yo, how are these people shaving their pits? You're not
The
telling me this is a
Smashers
smell.
and the townspeople.
Oh, that whole house smells like body odor and mushrooms, hairy pits. Ugh, gross. I do not want to be in that camp.
But volleyball.
Yeah, volleyball's good, I guess, and I do like hemp clothing. So
Also,
whatever.
I'm just gonna
And then
call.
midnight smash sessions. Like, what do you mean?
I'm gonna call bullshit.
And I do
John's
some
literally-
drawing, so I might do well. You know what? I take it back. I'm gonna go over at Mushroom House. That's where you
John's in
can
the
find
hippie
me.
house.
Mushroom house.
John's going to every guy being like, "Yo, we share everything, though. Send Rebecca up for a portrait."
Charlie, see, this is where your mastermind falls short. I'd be like, yo, I think your auntie's outside. She said you were waiting for her. And they'd be like, do. One down.
Yeah.
One down.
John is like, don't. John froze. That's how dirty John is. Look at him. Just those lips, just begging for action.
Not
As
frozen
my
at all.
brother gets his internet working. Sarge, you going to hippie house or you going to?
I'm going to
Might
hippie
survive
house.
the night house.
I
Just
cannot.
DJing.
Dude,
John's
you know
back.
What, you know what it is? You got to be in the hippie house. Everybody's in the hippie house. Why would I want to go in a little house? I feel like these suckers are getting in, no matter
don't
what.
want peaches
Those
and
little
shit?
houses.
I want
seem like-
peaches. I want to be able to get biz. Whatever.
Who's
you know,
Peaches? I didn't
makes-
see her. They got
I
a
wanna
club
go to the
like
post.
in town.
No, peaches. He gets the peaches.
Oh, the peach. No, I was thinking of the different peaches. My bad. My bad.
This is the problem. John, Sarge, I love you guys. But this is where my like barely noticeable dying, dwindling youth comes into play. You take the corny house where everybody got fucked up. Homeboy went to the cage. You
He's
clean
drinking.
that. You clean that son of a bitch up. That's you turn into the first fucking club in town, bro.
Yeah.
Please welcome to the stage.
24/7.
Peaches!
Woo, peaches! But you gotta pay in like little talismans that you can hang on the door, like
Yeah, I
little,
want my
little
talismans.
talismans in the G-string.
They fucking show up. It's like a bouncer. They're like, let me in. Be like, no, it's a party. Just fucking shit faced on Hennessy and Magic Diner Me. Yo, you know what I really love about this show?
What up, Brennan?
That I think it's doing so far even better than Lost did. It's addressing some shit that doesn't totally make sense. And
Yeah.
it's saying, like, in the world, this doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah.
So it's not like the
we
smoke
know.
monster.
What about the girl that's like is clearly being
Oh, manipulated in the head.
yeah,
That
like
one?
but-
in like she's got like she's got a Wi-Fi signal straight through
direct
her
link, yeah.
fillings, and they're like, "Yo, cut his tongue out, girl. You
Yo,
ain't got
pull
no
up his
boobs. You
jaws
may as well
on."
be useful." I'm like,
Yo,
"Oh, what
but
are you
then-
doing?"
but then-
and then everybody's an asshole in town. I'm like, I wouldn't stay here anyway. If I could leave, everybody's so fucking rude. I'd be the first one out the door, man. I hate rude people like that. She was
The
the worst
prob-
one. Then she
Yeah.
cuts up the
Problem
guy's
is-
tongue.
The problem is this town.
Gay.
This town is the perfect example of what I went through in the pandemic. I can't fucking go nowhere. I can't let nobody in. I just losing my mind.
Well,
I was like,
listen to
You
this.
don't
Like,
you don't sound like yourself. You ain't coming in, bro. Sorry. I'm your dog. What do you just let me out?
oh my god.
Yo, sorry,
What-
Kahlua.
what do you
That's why
think-
we got 2 dogs.
What do you think if like, because now that you think about it, if they actually flash back to how it fucking first started, like who's the first person to show up at this goddamn town,
No,
and how is
the
that guy
old-
surviving?
The old man was a kid.
But you know, but
The
that's what I'm
old
saying,
man
like,
was-
but that story to go back and be like, and show the beginning of like this is like flashbacks of this is how it started. That would be interesting to see too. That'd be pretty cool.
I mean,
You know?
And you could
who
do it for
knows?
every character, because every
This
character.
could go on for like 10 seasons. It could, it really could.
The scariest thing about this show is not like living off the grid, because I'm like, again, I was a legitimate thought. I'm like, who's shaving? Like, where's the food? Yo, that
Well,
girl,
no, well, you already
she's still
said we don't
running
know
the
where
diner.
we don't know where the cows and chickens are coming from. Remember, we said
Yeah.
that. We don't know where they came from.
We
They're
don't
just
know
here.
anything. Like they may be having squirrel burgers and nobody told them about it. Like there's more questions, far more questions than answers. Now, what sincerely scares me about it is not the situation, because we have all lived in a long enough nightmare of real life where we're like, yo, any from the oven out of the frying pot onto the oven, open fire. I don't care. I'm available for anything at this point. My question is this: the way Lost took us from like, oh, that's a crazy situation. Oh, you open a bunker. There's a bunch of shit with like no frills titles on it. Oh, there's weird people with a zoo in the middle of nowhere just walking in the middle of the night. They kept on giving us questions, and by the time we got answers, we were like, nah, I don't like that answer. Dumb. Give me another one.
I think the whole season is going to be finished before we get everything we need to, what was that bunker all about? Like, what the frick? I can't really see it. Was 4 one of the best ones, or
4 is dope?
It's really good. All right. No, I'm dope. Oh yeah. Are you drinking Sneak right now? You got liquor in there. What's going on? What do you got in there, bro?
Little Tropicilla action now.
It's
what
Tropicilla. It's Tropicilla and vodka. It's his.
Let's get some hearts. Get us up in the algo for these guys. Get some hearts going.
Nobody told the Troppa what killed it. It's just dead. So don't worry about the vodka, right? And it's Tito's vodka. I keep it.
Can
local.
you show trailers on here? Can you show trailers on?
We have.
Facebook would kick us off likely.
I think they would. Yeah, because I've done it before, and then they send you a thing with the music. The music
Charlie
is the thing.
Does the flip. We've gotten beef with music that from one of our sponsors. Sam, what's up? Yeah, well, like Facebook is just it's all run by robots. If Facebook was running this town from, it would be the algorithm that kills all those people in the middle of the night. It would be like the people that can't leave. They're like, no, you can't leave. Sorry, fucking Facebook robots. God damn, Ultron is the worst.
But you know what's crazy, man? There is no buzz around this show, and what's gonna happen is it's gonna wrap up on Epix, it's gonna show up on Hulu or show up on Netflix, and a year and a half from now, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh shit, you hear about From?" And I'm gonna be waiting for my second season, like, "Yo, the grandma ain't the grandma. They ate the chest." I've seen From, and I'm gonna be pissed at everybody.
It's like the show from Netflix, the Asian show. What was it called? There was like a BR when they do the game. They're doing the games, and the girl turns around, and they all get shot. What was it called?
The thing I didn't watch because that sounds fucking terrible. What is that?
Was that a game or a show?
The show where the guy gets a card to go, he's in debt. And then he goes to the place and it's like all these games that he has to do, like the kid games, Squid Games.
I can't believe it's not Hunger Games.
It's gonna be like Squid Games where no one knows what the fuck it was, and all of a sudden it was like, "You see Squid Games yet?" Everyone starts talking about it, and then you see it. It's like, "Yo, this is pretty dope." I think that's how it's gonna be.
I would sign up for a Squid Game.
I haven't watched it, and I like foreign like material like that. Fucking, I still rally about how Battle Royale, the movie,
that movie's
was ripped off by like fucking Hunger Games and was ripped off by like every video game that comes out now. I'm like, yo, this was the dopest Japanese movie you have not seen. Stop what you're doing and go watch Battle Royale. And I'm talking.
And there's a 2 also. There's a 2.
The second one's not as good.
I didn't see the second one. Is it?
It wasn't really that good. But the first one was like one of those flicks that just caught people out of nowhere. Like nobody was waiting for that shit. Battle Royale was Teddy knows. Battle Royale was dope.
You know, there's. I don't think, like, for me, do you guys think there's like any equity in like something being low key? Like, if no one hears about From for 5 years, and then everyone's talking about it, you're gonna be like, "Well, I knew From." I am old enough that I have no equity in. I want everyone to know everything I think is dope. Like, I want everyone to be watching From now.
That's like the emo rock lover that has that reaction. Like, oh, I liked From all the way in season 1, like when they were still eating guts. And like now there's aliens and there's fucking dinosaurs and who the hell knows where the show is gonna go. I loathe people like that. I really do.
That's how I was with Stranger Things. Like I knew the whole story behind it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It was like, you see Stranger Things? Yeah, but I know what the story's about, dickweed. You know what I'm saying? Like they have no idea. What the real story's about.
On a fold-out fucking game where you had to like have the huge encyclopedias.
Dungeon Master.
Come on, man. Come on. I had that Millennium Falcon that weighed more than you, that you had to pick it up and walk it around. Like, by the time you got it all put together, it was time to go to bed, so you had to... Oh, ridiculous. Ishmael, what's up, brother? But that all being said, Teddy, I'm gonna take umbrage with that because Walking Dead is only the show. Walking Dead is only at best influenced by the comics.
Comic was so much better.
The takeoff, the big takeoff character is Daryl. It never was in the comics. You had characters like Tyrese, so dope in the comics. His sister was so dope, and in the show, I hated her guts. I'm like, good. Go to Star Trek.
They took a dump on him. They took a heavy Chevy on him in the damn show. I love Tyrese.
Just to let everyone know what the argument's about, that's just listening. Our boy Teddy over on our Facebook Live version of the show was saying that Walking Dead with the comics before the TV show had that sort of like goofy gatekeeping. So I'm gonna be on Teddy's.
That's true.
I'm gonna be on Teddy's side.
Teddy, I take it back. You're right.
Just because, again, I think.
Yeah, Teddy,
I think it's people searching for equity because, like, him and Sarge could have talked for hours about Walking Dead because part of the reasons Walking Dead was such a phenom was because there was, in essence, a script for everybody to go and read in form of 4-color funnies. Then you watch the episode and they're like, now they have mech suits. And that's where John's point comes in.
Charlie, it wasn't a 4-color funny. It was a 2-color funny because the comic was in black and white. Point.
Yeah,
That's a point for John.
Not if you had colored pencils and shit. I thought that was a coloring book.
That's why your Walking Dead comics aren't worth shit.
We got Samantha still in the Facebook chat watching with us live. Every single Wednesday, for those of you who do not know, 8 o'clock every Wednesday, week after week, whether you want it or not. We are live on Facebook, Twitch, and on YouTube. And every Wednesday, right at the crack of dawn, you wake up. If it happens to be a Wednesday, there's a brand new audio episode available everywhere. You can listen to podcast actions. But we got Samantha in the chat. It's like when you say you really enjoyed a movie/show, and someone says, well, actually, like my fucking brother just did, I read the comic, and it's not accurate. Sheesh, let me enjoy it. You know,
Sam, you get a pass because you're Sam. Charlie does not get a pass, specifically because he's Charlie. Just really quickly, Charlie, I want to put this out there. We all agreed that the Lost vibe was there, and obviously the now lead, but also very much a big to-do on Lost, Harold Perrineau. Again, mispronouncing terrible. Dope on Sons of Anarchy. Dope on, like, he's just always great. Now he's got the lead. But also as well, so the series was created by John Griffin. Great fucking name. But two of the producers, Jack Bender and Jeff Pinker, who are producers from Lost. So clearly, this is like another bite at the apple, another hack at the tree in the woods because you need to burn off some of that. Damn, my grandpa, my father, somebody just got it up in the boiler room like Freddy. That old man is coming back like Freddy. If you get done in the boiler room, there is no other future for you. But I will ask you both this very loaded question as if we didn't talk about this shit before the show. So we know that Lost vets Jack Bender and Jeff Pinker are two producers. Charlie or Sarge, can either or both of you tell me two other producers of this very dope show?
Sarge, do you want to act like we didn't talk about this before?
Maybe they are brothers in their own right. Maybe they put out a lot of material that we find to be dope.
I would argue that they are the second best brother team in the comic book space, and that, of course, is the Russo Brothers.
Los Brothers Russo.
Los Brothers
Russo. The Russo Brothers are executive producing this damn show. And Sarge, don't take offense to this, but take a little bit. I was like, no, that sounds really great. I'll get to that show eventually. Then I did a quick little searchy search.
Oh, wait, you searched first. Okay.
Executive produced
you, Sarge.
by the Russo brothers. All right, let me go ahead and check it out.
I've never given him a bad show. He's full of shit, okay? Never gave him a bad show.
Yo, the Russo brothers. Look, as flawless as Sargent's track record is, I will say this: the Russo brothers are even more flawless. They don't know how to put out anything faulty. They have done all the best work over at Marvel. They just make Butters material. So you have no choice but to say, and this is something that I personally hate. I just kind of got back involved in a little live performance space, and someone comes out to see you, they're like, great job, buddy. Oh, you should be in New York. The fucking compliment is still hanging in the air.
Oh my
and
God.
You're still glistening sweat. You're like, oh, I can't wait to. Before the compliment has expired, before it has floated up into the ethos, the next sentence that comes out of their mouth is this. So, what's next? What's next? The applause is still ringing. You selfish son of a bitch. What's next? Now, only someone like myself who is very quick to point out when that wrong happens to me, I'm just as guilty because the Russos have given me and Sarge to a lesser
Are we
degree,
talking
I guess.
about Don Quixote? Is that what we're talking about right now?
Yeah, that's already
Okay.
But I was like, the Russo brothers, obviously this show is going to be dope. No doubt, no doubt. I haven't watched a show before. I was like, what else are the Russo brothers up to? What is wrong with me? Why am I so goddamn greedy, man? It's never enough.
But
And
you found something, right?
Luckily for me, fucking right, I found something. The Russo brothers and the holiest of holies here in New Jersey, even though he lives in California right now, it's fine. Kevin Smith. They are putting out the conversation that we have had at nauseum at this point. And it is the conversation. It is Iron Mike versus Muhammad Ali. It is Coke versus Pepsi. It is I can't even think of enough analogies, and I love to do it. Marvel versus DC.
Yeah.
Officially, they're putting out. It is a daggone Slugfest. No, Ellis, Kevin Smith is not a liar, you son of a bitch. Slugfest, the documentary series, which is crafted like a show. They have. Oh, Charlie's gone! Charlie now! Charlie now!
I died.
1, 2, 3. It's a standing 8 count. Charlie down.
I'm
How many shots do you have?
Charlie fainted because of that question. Charlie is out. He's out the room. I love it. It took a special guest appearance by the Sarge to finally put the man out of commission. So, look, I understand people get very upset about the question, like Charlie showed us, but Slugfest, the documentary, now it's not from Kevin Smith. He actually just narrates it, but the Russo brothers are executive producing it. Hey, Sarge, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask you the question that, knowing you for, 50 years, I already know the answer to, but Marvel, DC, just on the surface level, you're a Marvel guy.
Yeah. I
You're a
mean,
Marvel guy.
I grew up Marvel. My brother grew up DC.
And like that.
Jay was all about Batman, and Batman was huge for him. He was really not Superman so much, but Batman was his thing.
Mm.
The thing with me and DC, I always just felt like the characters and the outfits were a lot. It was the start of comics. So
No doubt. Yeah.
once
Superman's
Marvel
the OG.
came out, Superman's OG. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, But then even when Marvel came up, like
Wonder
Spider-Man,
Man.
it started that way too, though, like with Spider-Man and like Iron Man. But I just got drawn into the story, I guess, and the more worldly, alienistic kind of vibe with Marvel than I got with DC.
So it's actually interesting that you raised that point, because if someone had come to me and said, "Oh, what would Sarge's pick be?" I would. Oh, he's up. He is up. The smelling salts have worked. How you feeling, buddy? You okay, papito?
Yo, how dare Ellis call Kevin Smith a liar? How very dare you?
That was it. He's just flipping cameras now. Charlie's flipping tables. He's all angry as shit. So Charlie, just to catch you up real quick.
Oh, I heard all of it. I was here the whole time.
You heard about the alien dinosaurs are the big bad, the monsters from? We figured that shit all out.
The fact that Sarge is like, I don't like the word, but your name is Sergeant in your title of all your branding is the thing you were. Are you shitting me? You'd be Sergeant Man, you son of a bitch.
Oh, yes. Sergeant Man.
He'd have a big shield like in the shape of the stripes.
I already have a character, Sergeant Finesse.
But yeah, so Sarge put it right out there that he's waving the red banner of Marvel. Obviously, you know, Charlie, photocopy of me, a little fuzzy around the edges, but still a pretty decent facsimile. We are firmly in DC. But that being said, that does not mean that there's crossover. There are plenty of Marvel characters that I am very much a big fan of. Can't really get enough of, quite frankly. Now, I think and Charlie, I know, agrees. But I do want to say this. There's a danger. And the documentary actually makes reference of it pretty damn well. Teddy's right. The Duster is going to be an all-time. USComics, The Duster. Check them out today.
I think mine was the best. Calm down, Teddy.
So the movie success that Marvel has had, to say like, well, the Marvel movies are better than DC movies. Marvel movies are better than anything right now in terms of success, in terms of continuity.
Not according to the Oscars, but according to like the truth.
But here's the thing too, like that's a whole different conversation and a fair one, frankly. Because it's episodic storytelling that Marvel is doing right now, which is what comic books are. One could argue, like, yeah, fucking idiot. You're not supposed to kill off your big bad at the end of the fucking movie, Michael Keaton. Like, why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. But this documentary is more of the entire. It's like two brothers, no offense, duking it out, and one brother's just a little itty bitty bit older than the other brother.
Itty bitty, titty committee.
So much so that people are like, which one's older, Marvel or DC? Because I can't really even tell. But Charlie, I am gonna throw it to you. So we know that you are like, if you're forced to pick a Coke versus Pepsi situation, you're gonna pick DC.
Absolutely. Despite my second favorite character being a Marvel, Daredevil.
Oh, I love Daredevil.
I think Daredevil is the greatest emo character in comics, and comics is fucking full of them. Comic books loves that. I mean, Pattinson as Batman's about to make $1 billion. AMC is charging more, and it's literally because he's just being Daredevil. Daredevil's like, I hate how much pussy I get. Damn it. Damn it.
First of all, Daredevil could be getting stuff all over town. He thinks. He don't know. He's out there racking them up like Ray Charles, feeling up on arms. He's like, yeah, she's pretty hot. No problem.
Let me ask you a question, though.
Murdoch.
Let me ask you a question, though, John. You don't eat meat anymore.
Correct.
You have your meat substitutes. I've had some. I can attest to some of your faux sausage. Delicious. But if I were to hate it, if Sarge were to do a taste test, or your 25 favorite vegan meals, vegetarian meals, your non-meat meats, and if he hated them all, does that mean you shouldn't enjoy them? So even if Matt is, even if it's Foggy every time he thinks it's Elektra, anyway. But it's Foggy. it's some hot broad, but it's some nice fella from the library. If Matt's having a good time, I fully support it.
No, don't get me wrong. I fully support it for much the same reason as I am sending all the fellas out to the front door in From, because it just leaves more on the plate for yours truly. So naturally, I fully support it. So you raise an interesting point. Daredevil is your number one Marvel guy. Sarge, being firmly a Marvel guy, who on the DC side of the equation are you like, yeah, you know what though, but this character, this is the bee's knees?
Oh my God! It have to be Superman, man. I don't know. He's probably my favorite. But on the Marvel side, the funny thing is,
what is
my
it, Wolverine?
favorite on the Marvel side, my favorite on the Marvel side was the Black Knight. Was my favorite on the Marvel side.
You're in luck, my friend.
Because I was a Middle Ages medieval guy growing up. I loved all that shit about the Middle Ages, and him as an Avenger, bro. I love that in the comics, and he's my favorite.
And this is something that Marvel did really, really well. Is they took and when we say we're going through this era of Marvel in the movie, I mean, we're really kind of like now coming out of it, but there was an entire decade of Marvel movies that everybody went berserk over, which were really Stan Lee movies. You could have taken the Marvel banner off and be like, Stan Lee Pictures, at least a partial creator, if not, we know that he didn't completely by himself create all this content, but he was at least 50% of it. Now all of that entire grouping, like those original Avengers, the underwear on the outside group of characters, we're now moving past them. We're now in the era of Black Knight. We're now in the we're actually Celestials did quite a lot, and this is actually one of those very, to me, interesting things to finally see on the screen, because I have been having this conversation fucking forever. Charlie, when's the first time that I sat you down and told you about Jack Kirby?
Young. That was an early conversation. 10. I was
10.
You were 25.
Not early enough though. So Jack Kirby. I want to pull up some of the actual stats, because when you go like pound for pound greatest creator at all of them all, it's impossible. Like, if you're gonna desecrate the Black Hill Mountains and make another Mount Rushmore for comic books, Jack Kirby's got to be on there. Jack
Absolutely.
Kirby. Sarge, what was your favorite Stan Lee DC creation? No, there wasn't one. That's why you can't think of one. Whereas Jack Kirby, cousin Paul, what is up? Fucking Paul says it best, and it's very apropos that we're talking about Kirby now, because Kirby, he crossed the border like it was Mexico into Texas, unfettered. He don't give a shit. He's got the tequila in one hand and his drawing pencil in the other. He made masterworks for both DC and Marvel.
Sometimes the same masterwork.
Sometimes you like Celestials. I got good news for you. There's a fucking DC version waiting for you. So when and this is one of those stories that are so. These are the stories behind the stories. So Sarge, I don't think you even got to this point in the documentary. Jack Kirby was one of those cats that he knew his worth so well. Honestly, it kind of mirrors what Sarge has going on in the never-ending, seemingly, saga of Twitch/Facebook gaming. Because Sarge is like, oh, I'm over here now, boogaloo, boogaloo. And Sarge is doing that. Sarge, I'm going to talk a little about you, so don't get embarrassed. Plug up your ears if you gotta. Sarge is like, fuck that. You're going to play me dirty. You're not going to give me what I'm worth. You're not going to give me my shine that I got all oiled up for nothing. You're not going to let me shine right now? Peace. I'm a fucking dip over here. But he's smart. He's that baby that when he got spit out in the operating room on his birthday, he didn't want to cut the umbilical cord. He's like, nah, you know what? Maybe I might want hungry for lunch later.
Back in.
I'll tie it together. When they tried to cut it, he said, nah. Sarge is like, no, I'm going to keep a foot in both worlds. That was very, very Kirby-esque. because what Kirby did was like, I have a fucking great idea. We're gonna do space shit. We're gonna talk about aliens. He was doing the History Channel's fucking original Alien series before History Channel even thought of it. And when he got done dirty on one side by one comic book publisher, he said, all right, I'm going to take my ball. I'm going home. And he fucking crossed the street to the other side. And he said, hey, glad to be here. Show me my desk. Where's my pencils? I got this great idea. And he told the same story again. He just changed up some names. It is literally identical storytelling. But when you have, and Sarge, you can attest to this fact, there are some people, there are the writer-dyers, right? The writer-dyers that no matter what publisher you're at, they're going to be there.
Yeah.
But there are certain faces, certain names that you see only on one side versus the other. Is that a fair thing to say? Very
fair, yeah.
You know, and that's a matter of taste. That's McDonald's versus Burger King. That's DC versus Marvel. So there is an audience that only saw those particular Jack Kirby masterworks because he was with one particular publisher versus the other. Now, I would say, yo, shit, I got a Facebook gaming profile, account. I've got a Twitch account. I'm going to watch the Sarge no matter where the hell he's at. Matter of fact, I'm even going to promote him no matter where he's at. So, Sarge, why don't you go ahead, plug up your ears again, because we're about to talk about our beloved sponsors. Charlie, I'm going to kick it off first. And it might just be a familiar face if you are watching the show right now, or a familiar voice if you're listening to this audio in about a week's time. It is Sergeant friggin' Finesse. You can find him, like I've been saying, on Facebook Gaming. You can find him on the Purple Site, on Twitch. Multiple streams every day. Outstanding video game content. Supporter games, co-streams, giveaways, contests. Don't be a sucker. Check him out today. Maybe even check him out tomorrow. If you need to pick me up, do like I do. Follow the White Rabbit over to sleepenergy.com. Use code SGT at checkout.
There we go.
So good. If you want some fresh new gear,
You got vodka in there, actually.
be a ride or dyer like me, but then also as well as go over to geeksunleashed.com. Use code SARGE at checkout there. When the Sarge is on deck, you salute. GG, son.
So now there's an elephant in the room when we talk about the Sarge. There is a problem with the Sarge's content. It's very similar to the problem with our content right now. Our wonderful audience that's live, our beautiful audience that's listening to us every Wednesday, anywhere you can listen to podcasts. You're all sexed up right now because look at us. You have to sit through the Sarge's stream and you have to see that face, that wonderful face. You come, you check out some comic book news, and you're inundated by, frankly, what can only be called two beautiful Latino men. So here's what you need. You need that tunage because you're going to want to get sexy at home. You want to get sexy at home because you can't watch us all day, all night. And for that, we turn to one of my absolute favorite bands of all time, and that is none other than Bad Mary. You heard them at the beginning of the show. You're going to hear a track at the end of the show. They are touring once again. But my favorite thing about Bad Mary, other than following them across all social media at Bad Mary Band, is listening to their entire discography on any music service available. You can check them out
Spotify?
right now. You can check them out today. Show some love. If you have a couple ducats that you want to throw their way, go over on to patreon.com/Bad Mary. John.
Fucking A right.
My dear brother.
Oof, my goof.
No one has asked you.
I need a cigarette and I don't even smoke.
So your number one is Superman, obviously. Who's your number one Marvel?
That is so tough because the Marvel menu, frankly, you can't deny is deep.
Yeah, it's
Marvel is like the print publisher version of Netflix, with like, oh, you want a little this, you want to fucking
Are you talking books or are you talking the shows, the movies right now? What are you talking?
Books. We're gonna start with the books because it always starts there. But then also as well as there's sometimes you get segues a comic turns into a show, a comic turns into a movie, a comic turns into a whatever, a cartoon, whatever the fuck. And then you're like, you know what? That shit is kind of dope. Let me go ahead and knock it back. So, of my favorite like comic books, collectively, like as an entity, there are two that are constantly like center of the ring, trading punches like a veritable slugfest, like the show we're talking about. And those are Kingdom Come and Secret Wars.
Secret Wars was good. Yeah.
So here's my conundrum, right? My big issue is like modern get your mind blown. I didn't see that shit coming. Versus the member berries of nostalgia. How it could just tug on your little heartstrings, and you're like, no, I love that shit with every fiber of my being. So that is, again, center Gotti Ward number 4. Ooh, they're just standing in the center of the ring, just pow, 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 pow. That's perennially what's happening in my head. As of this moment today, it's Secret Wars. So yay! So Secret Wars right now holds that top spot. Is it because we're getting rumblings of the same Russo brothers maybe bringing Secret Wars to the big screen? Is it because I very recently read a very new bound edition of the entire thing? Yo, when you look at the lineup of the characters who were left out of Secret Wars, they're like, Lulu, Central Park is just great. Oh shit, I just missed the boat. Everybody's fighting in space. Cool. Also, as well as when you have Sony doing what they're doing with Venom, and now there's a little blob of Venom.
Making terrible movies?
Listen, there's a little bit of Venom in your life right now if you are a Marvel cat. Everyone, if you're a comic book head, you answer one question to me. Where did Venom come from? Venom came from goddamn Secret Wars. That Sarge just got snapped out of existence by Thanos. So Venom is Venom because Spider-Man got his costume tore the fuck up in space in Secret Wars. And he's like, shit.
And Peter's such a cheeseball. He's like, I need a uniform.
No, he
Peter
said
Parker.
He said, I can't fight in a sewing machine. Look, Peter Parker, Peter Parker was a high school kid, even if he didn't take his mask off, because he just finished home ec. And he knew how to work a sewing machine. I could make an elephant pillow.
A pillow? Yeah, exactly.
That was the extent of my sewing.
A baseball pillow.
I could be Elephant Man or Naked Man. It's only one or the other. But Peter Parker...
Put that elephant face right down there, bro.
Yeah, just like,
your elephant crotch, man.
Whoa!
Feed him a peanut. Oh, that's my balls. So, Peter Parker needed a costume, and Reed Richards, the fucking know-it-all, is like, yeah, I could work this space age fucking alien technology, no problem. Sucks in this floating in space blob. Yeah, there's a costume. That's where we got Black Spider-Man for the first time. Black costume Spider-Man. I'm not talking about Miles Morales. That's where we got Venom for the first time. At first, it was like, oh shit, Spider-Man in a black costume. Sarge, did you ever have the Secret Wars figures?
My brother did.
They all came with a shield. I'm like, yo, why is everybody Captain America? How they all have hologram shields? That's corny as shit. They couldn't move. They just like their arms wouldn't bend in the middle. They were the whack-ass-ist figures of all time. Now, meanwhile, the Super Friends figures, they had joints, they had
like G.I. Joes, they were like this.
Yeah, they had cloth capes. I'm like, yo, DC is where it's at. But if you look at the volume, go on eBay right now, the Secret Wars figures are like worth a fucking ton. They're all like rubbery feeling. Different conversation. So I would say that my number one Marvel book right now, effective in this moment, is Secret Wars, man. They better do it justice. If they bring it to the big screen, they had better do it justice, or I'm going to be picketing outside this headquarters.
Let me ask you real quick, to go off topic, what was that story in Marvel? It brought all the different comics together, like Wolverine, Thor, with the Morlocks. and all that. It was like a big, you know. And they had Angel in the subway, like with pinned to the wall, and it went into one of the Thor comics. It was going through all the different comics.
Yeah,
they had his wings and he was hanging on the wall. Oh, with the four horsemen. The four horsemen came in and like all that. Remember that shit?
Isn't that when Angel lost his wings and he became
lost his
Archangel?
Yes, that whole storyline was a really good story.
Yeah,
that was a good story. But the Morlocks, they were like these mutants that lived under the ground.
I legit found the panel.
They were the ugly mutants. All the good-looking mutants, they got to go to Xavier's school.
But it went
ugly
from like
mutants,
Wolverine
get in
to
the
Thor
sewer.
to the Avengers to this guy. You went to this 127, then you went to that one. Yeah, but he was but he was in a train station. Is that the one who was in the train station?
Yep. Yeah, it's underground. That was Uncanny X-Men Annual 16 back
and they were
in
killing
92.
all the mutants.
Yeah, I think that was just like a Morlock big annual.
Like a storyline. Yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah, but the X-Men had a whole long Morlock event. I don't remember.
Yeah, it went along different. It went to Thor, it went to the Avengers. It all crossed through. I forget what that. I think that would be a good story too to come out in the movies. But
I mean,
I gotta revise my character. Captain America is probably my favorite.
For Marvel.
And then the Black
you're just
Knight,
trying to pretend you're patriotic for your brand.
No, I really love him, especially in the movies.
Hey guys,
I love Captain America.
Guys, Sarge is Canadian. It's all bullshit. The whole
Sarge
brand
was
is
Canadian,
bullshit.
he'd be better at hockey. So Sarge, let me ask you this: being a Captain America aficionado, how did you feel about the Hail Hydra moment? Have you gotten to that point? Has any cold-hearted son of a bitch shoved that comic under your nose?
What do you mean the Hail Hydra moment?
Oh, I gotta do it. Do I gotta do it?
From the comics?
Show him the visual, Charlie.
From the comics?
So yeah, I'll pull it up, John.
See, I stopped reading the
Whip
comics
it out.
25 years ago, bro.
That's all right. Yeah, but just because it's just like traffic, just because you close your eyes doesn't mean that they're not there.
The last comic that I had from him was when he was in the black outfit with the red star on it. That's the last Avengers.
The
the last
first
one I
US
had.
agent.
Yes. Saying Hail Hydra in there now.
So
yeah,
they
John.
What do they say? Like if you on a long enough timeline, you'll see yourself become a villain or whatever.
So why couldn't that be that when he went back in time and said Hail Hydra, like when he was getting the thing in the freaking
he was
elevator?
like, Hail Hydra, guys, what's up? Where's the club room
peace,
at?
out. Peace. You know?
Yeah,
you know what that is.
They did Steve Rogers dirty in the comics. And honestly, I don't dislike Captain America. He's just He's not one of my favorites. Yo, they played him dirty, dude. I have a Lucy around here. Someplace I'll throw you away.
A Lucy?
A Lucy, like a non-collected issue.
John's going old school city vibes with Lucy's
over here.
I'm like, yeah, that's a nickel, baby.
The Young Rocks don't know what the Lucy would be, but you know, call it a capper.
Luckily, John just tried to charge a nickel for it. So John is like in a page boy outfit in that fucking story.
That's a nickel. Hey, you want a pape? Hey, get the pape. Lusitania blows up.
Ladies and gentlemen, USComics is proud to present, as part of our NFT initiative coming soon, a very limited edition John as a Newsie, starring in Newsies 2, Electric Boogaloos.
Let's go.
Woo! So you know what, Charlie? You raised a very... What the hell just happened? You raised a very interesting point.
Did I?
I know. I was as surprised as anybody. So if any new faces who are here or listening to us a week from now, it is somewhat news and maybe somewhat news to Sarge, just a little bit on the surface. It's a very, very important thing. So we have discovered, and by we I mean me, we have discovered this crowdfunding source, which is far more than just a give me money and I'll give you a sticker like type of situation. So what we are doing, and we're currently about 50% of the way through the process of the creation of these NFTs.
USComics?
USComics is going to be doing a collective dump of about 500 plus unique NFTs for sale on the open market. So the first step, if there's like any interest at all, Go ahead, join our Discord with just like all the rest of our socials. It's USComics HQ. Very simple. Anyone can spell it. Check it out. We're gonna have all the information there. The exact site where you can buy the NFTs upon the initial offering. What's really great about it is that for NFTs, they're super cheap, quite frankly, and it's gonna give us the means to print our fucking book, which has been written, it's been gamed out, it's been planned, it's been sketched, it's ready to go.
Mr. Montauk.
Fuck yeah, Mr. Montauk. And this is gonna be one of those situations where, so I want you to just kind of imagine it's a crowdfunding, meaning that it's now gonna make this comic book a literal reality, but also as well as you own a fucking unique NFT before the comic book has come out. So NFTs, if you don't know them, learn about them. Non-fungible tokens. It's a commodity just like anything else. You buy it on a Tuesday, you sell it on a Wednesday for more than you bought it from. You make some fucking money.
The bottom line is, would you rather be fungible? Come on.
Mom Duke's in the
You want
chat.
to be non-fungible,
Mama
bro.
Dukes.
Mom Duke's in the chat.
Look, all they've done is increase in value, and what the NFTs actually are, they're original art drawn largely by myself, but also some other well-known artists as well. Colored by Ellis, who's right there. Ellis in chat. Stan the Man contributed a lot of art there as well.
What's up?
So I just yeah, what's up, X-Man? X-Man, tell your dad you want him to buy you a USComics NFT for Christmas because they're gonna make that money, son. So yeah, just imagine that you had an NFT of Superman or fucking Spider-Man, and like imagine what that value would be 50 years later. Here, you don't have to wait 50 years. It can happen in 5 fucking days. But it's very, very exciting. Again, more information to follow. We are literally about 50% of the way through. I've got all the original stuff. It's gonna be layered so they can all have unique backgrounds, and you're gonna be able to like trade them. It's gonna be fucking dope as hell. But again, get on our Discord, hit us up on the site. Everything is gonna be working literally. Hopefully by the time this fucking show is over. It's just like a very, very exciting time because finally, after years of preparation, USComics is ready to invade, and we're not fucking around. There's no flag waving over here. We belong there. So make sure you check that shit out.
I hope everybody enjoy, and we have a back catalog of all the audio episodes of the show are available forever. They'll always, always be free. Same with the videos, and once the comic drops, it'll be the last time I say anything nice about DC, Marvel, Image, Dynamite. I'm literally gonna be like, sucks, Superman's a sucker, Batman's a dweeb. Why don't you adopt another kid, Batman? Oh. Piece of garbage. I'll still like Matt Murdock, though. I feel bad for him.
I never see you coming.
That's true. John,
Awful.
if you don't actually answer my question, I'm going to flip out.
Question?
Who's your favorite Marvel character?
Character, yeah, not the book.
Singular?
Yeah.
You know what?
Superman. Marvel. I'm sorry, Marvel.
I'm gonna look like a fucking Johnny come lately, and it's not because he is being portrayed by the actor who I have also cast to play myself in my life story when that inevitably drops. Fucking Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, wow.
Fucking Moon Knight.
Does that come out next week?
It's dropping. It might be dropping.
No. Morbius is coming out next week.
The movie, yeah. So Moon Knight is dropping.
Morbius is about
show.
to make $8 in the theater. Batman's gonna make $4 trillion. And poor little Jared Leto's like, but I'm a bad person.
Wait. So how's Flash gonna do that has Keaton in it? You think he's gonna make any money?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is Marvel gonna release like?
Keaton.
That's gonna be.
Is Marvel gonna be like Captain America's back that week?
It's gonna be a multiverse movie, so they're gonna cross all of the DC properties, and people are like, well, I liked it then. Like the emo fans there, like I liked Michael Keaton. Well, guess what, asshole? Yeah. Here he is in the original fucking suit. But yeah, so anyone who doesn't, anyone who doesn't know Moon Knight, he looks like an all-white Batman most of the time. But this fucking guy literally has multiple personality disorder. So he is multiple superheroes, really, at once. and he's just a great character. He's one of those interesting characters that I felt that Marvel spit out that wasn't like, oh, this person is a crossing guard, this person is a soldier, this person is a whatever. Like this person is a knight. We'll call him Black
Moon
Knight.
Knight's
this
crazy.
person's a spider. So Marvel did go down that path for a long time. Moon Knight shatters that fucking shatters that game plan. They're like, no, this is what he is. You're not gonna really know his history. You're not even gonna know his personality because he's got multiple ones. That was one of the dope things that came as a Moon Knight fan. The second that trailer dropped, the fact that one of his personalities had a fucking English accent. He's not English. Like, honestly, Oscar Isaac was like the perfect fucking choice. I think the show is gonna be fire. The character is unbelievable. It looks great. They even did like the Gentleman Moon Knight version, which is just like a white
Just
suit
the
with
best.
with a close cropped mask. It's gonna be a dope series. Obviously, if you want to be a Johnny Come Lately, wait for the show. If you want to be like Johnny Rivera, pick up a comic or two, do some homework, and you'll enjoy the show that much better.
Sarge, I'm gonna kick it to you, man, because I know the deep comic book knowledge isn't your speciality. You're too busy just
Up to like
crushing it.
1992. Then afterwards, he's like, show me the movies.
Yeah, 93. It was over at that point.
Who, what does Marvel have on its plate, or what does DC have on the plate? Like, what's the next project you're most excited for
good question.
in like the film or TV space? Like, so it's still Marvel versus DC. I don't want 1 and 1. I want, of all these options, what is the thing that you're like, I need to see that opening week or opening day, or I need to check that out at the quickness. I need to drag X-Men to it. What's tickling your fancy, man? Dude, as the people, speak for the people.
These movies that came out, this whole phase 1 through 4, I feel like really opened everything up, and it's just gonna go from here into the comic world.
Sure.
I want to see Daredevil come to this now as a movie. I really do. He was one of my favorites growing up. You can ask my brother. I loved the Daredevil comics, and I fucking loved him. Funny, one of Angie's friends is actually in one of the Daredevil series. He's one of the Russian guys that he kills. He's a dancer, like a house dancer. We used to dance all the time at the clubs. Like one of Angie's boys. He does these little parts, and he's one of the Russian guys that he kills. And he has like a speaking part on the floor in one of the episodes in like the warehouse where he kills him. But I want to see. I heard he is probably coming to the universe now. When I saw Kingpin, but I heard Luke Cage, and then probably aren't coming. But I would love to see him come in as a movie. I really would.
I mean, I don't want to spoil it for you. He's in Spider-Man. Matt Murdock, like, what's up? I can't see shit. I'm the jam.
Yeah, I saw him in Spider-Man. I did. He's the lawyer. Yeah, that was great.
That's a great answer. What's funny?
He's like, I like Daredevil. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Like, perfect answer, pal. Fuck Moon Knight. I'm just kidding. I love Moon Knight.
I knew nothing of Moon Knight at all. He's
the shit. Well, you know, it's so
way
funny. It's like
Daredevil.
everything modern. Fuck you, John. Everything dope about modern Daredevil.
Oh my God.
Everything great about Moon Knight comes from the same place. It was like this sub-series of Marvel Comics called Marvel Knights. KNI. Dude, these were all just like the street level heroes just doing work. It was
Black Knight
Moon
in there?
Daredevil, Punisher. What's that?
Was Black Knight in there? No.
Nah, Black Knight is like too busy being fancy with a talking sword and shit.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is I feel like Marvel has been so consistently spectacular, pun intended, with their like big scope shit. What I'm excited now is to see Marvel go to like small, like a story about a dude just fighting in Manhattan is far more interesting to me right now than another galactic adventure.
Marvel, I hope somebody from Marvel, Kevin Feige, if you're listening, Kevin Smith, if you're listening, if you could pass it on, because, you know, Jersey Brothers, somebody, please, of all the spectacular, amazing things, the suspension of disbelief that you ask from me, a loyal reader, as Stan Lee would put it, I believe a character can fly. I believe they can shoot ionic blast out their eyeballs. I believe they can fly through space without any oxygen. I believe in talking raccoons. I believe all of it. Stop asking me to believe that Hell's Kitchen in Manhattan is a bad neighborhood. It's a very nice neighborhood. It's very expensive. Most of these mouth breathers can't afford to live there.
Now,
Hell's Kitchen is nice, and it's got a cool name. God damn.
Well, I don't want to. I sometimes get embarrassed talking about my famous Hollywood friends, but I got off the phone with the Kevins. I got off the phone with Feige and Smith this afternoon, and the next Daredevil movie is slated. It's coming out 2027, and he fights a bunch of Wall Street cats who live in Hell's Kitchen in nice apartments. He's just like, you're evading taxes.
Sarge,
I'm making all of this.
Look at his face, Sarge. You can't believe. I'm not even positive his name is Charlie at this point. What a lying son of a bitch.
Let me ask you two guys something, because you guys are the comic aficionados, okay?
It's true.
Don't you feel like this whole, phase up to phase 4, and even where it's going with these shows, have opened up? I feel like these characters are still the Avengers are still going to be in the background. But there's other movies that are going to be coming out, and they're still going to be a part of it, but I don't think they're going to be really involved in the bigger scope of huge stories that are going to come out with these other comics coming out. I think they're going to be in the back of this.
I think the best thing you could do, not to be boring with this before I give John his turn at the answer, but in pro wrestling, there's an old idea that if you have a character that everyone loves, they never need the title belt. So if you're Captain America, if you're Iron Man...
I never let Charlie win in backyard wrestling. I'm like, you're popular enough. You don't need the belt. Champ.
And that's why I've only dated hot girls, because my fat ass is like, I'm popular. I never win shit. But I think with Marvel now is what people go to see. It's that red and white logo. So now's the time to strike.
Tell him, Victor.
Now's the time to strike with those lesser known characters. If you're going to do a Black Knight story, do it now. If you're going to do a big reboot of Blade, is still a bigger character. That's not the level we're talking about. I don't even think Moon Knight's the level we're talking about. Now's the time where, and I know some people are against it for whatever reason.
The Netflix level characters?
Correct. Now's the time you want to hit people with Jessica Jones level characters that have amazing stories in their back catalog.
If I may. So a couple things on the Marvel side have been happening. Obviously we know the multiverse is opening up. And to say that it's gonna open up is kind of stupid, because it already has opened up with Spider-Man. They've already established with Venom being like, I can fucking go between all kinds of realities all the time. With the Loki TV show doing what it did, they've already opened up the multiverse of madness, and now Doctor Strange is even going to basically kick in the damn door.
More?
I'm going to show
irresponsible.
Schwarzenegger over there. So, damn Commando. Sergeant was joining. I'm like, Commando of everybody. So,
whoa.
I'm gonna throw my camera off again.
So, but now also, as well as with the upcoming Flash and even the Batgirl show, because Michael Keaton's Batman version of Batman is being ported over there. So now DC is also going down that multiverse path, which does something for storytelling that comics has done since day one. Let me rephrase that. The big comics have done since day one, but here at USComics, you have our vow we will never do, and that is very simple, that dead never counts. Dead is not dead. You can see somebody in a Marvel comic can die like fucking Grandpa in the boiler room in From, just like empty carcass laying there, like sitting in the back of
Iron Man and Captain America.
So there's some version, like we already saw in the fucking upcoming trailer, there is a Iron Man. Now,
what
some
trailer?
people
Which
saying,
one?
fucking Doctor Strange.
It's the one I haven't seen yet. That trailer.
Spoiler alert, there's a version of Iron Man. Now, a lot of people saying, oh shit, that's Top Gun, Tom Cruise Iron Man as superior Iron Man, which is like an evolved version. Fuck, we're in the multiverse. Anything can happen. We can turn on the flick, and it might be Sergeant Finesse is fucking Iron Man. Not fucking Iron Man, but like...
Whoa!
You know what I'm saying? Look, he used to drink. Crazy shit happens. What are you going to do?
Here comes aluminum foil man. He ain't got no budget, but he got
open
the
up, John,
shades.
Open up.
So, the good and bad part about that nature of like, nah, dead doesn't mean shit. In a multiverse, yeah, sure, our Natasha is fucking dead as a doornail. Our Tony Stark definitely dead. Our Vision has been like fucking recycled into like keyboards and fucking mics and stuff like that. However,
Gamora is a prime example.
Gamora's a fucking great example. Exactly. So she already, it now doesn't. She's not
dead,
where
and now
she
she's
belongs.
there. Yeah, exactly.
So we may end up getting some of these actors right the fuck back with us, just like Gamora. I forget her name. It's a bomb piece too. I can't believe.
Yeah.
I hope she's not watching.
Colombiana.
Woo!
Colombiana.
Oh, I go Vulcan on that shit all day.
Whoa.
Anywho,
Whoa.
I'm just saying, Spock. I get you, bro. I get you.
I threw this so Star Trek.
So that's like the good and bad about like the whole comic book telling narrative is like, don't worry. Yeah, Batman's back is broken. Don't worry about it. He'll be fine. Even fucking Jason Todd, who was voted to be killed by the heartless some of bitches that read comic books, was like, you know what? He's back too. Everybody comes back. Even Uncle fucking Ben came back. Batman's parents came. Like, everybody comes back, dude. That is... It's a hard and fast,
I'm actually
written in pen rule for comics.
I am very, very proud of the fact that until USComics sells to Disney, no one's going to come back from the dead. Because once I get that first mouse check,
Charlie, son of a...
I'm going to run it back every issue. Be like, oh no. Oh shit. Mr. Montauk's dead. JK.
No!
New Mr. Montauk #1.
And
coming
that'll,
this
like,
February.
With no glasses on.
That'll be page 30 of
New
like
costume.
Mr. Montauk 7, and then Mr. Montauk 8. He'll be like, oh, coming out on the beach, like, ooh, kind of a little salty right now. No, Victor actually. Victor raises a good point. Gwen's death,
JK.
backtracked by Marvel, and fuck yeah, that's right. I actually just read something.
Has Uncle Ben come back? Yes.
They've all come back. They've all come back. Peter's parents have been back. Even in the flicks, they've like toyed with that idea. And also, Sarge, like you mentioned, like having that multiverse. They're talking about continuing the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man arc. Some people are saying Tobey Maguire might be the Spider-Man in the fucking what's his face world, Morbius world. He might be the Spider-Man in that world. That's the thing. Like we don't know what we're looking at until we get it. Charlie was very butthurt about fucking Wesley Snipes not being involved anymore.
It's true.
Meanwhile, Mahershala Ali is like one of the best actors that we have in the universe. Man, don't get me started. But Wesley might not be done either.
Yeah.
I heard a story.
Well,
Wesley Snipes was in a scene in Blade, like 19 or whatever, one of them. He's laying there on a fucking slab, and they're like, all right, Wesley, close your eyes. And he was like, oh no, open your eyes. He's like, no, I'm laying down, though. I'm laying down. My eyes wouldn't be open. They're like, we need your eyes open for the scene. He was like, no. He wouldn't open his eyes, so they had to use CGI budget money to make CGI open eyes on the dude.
Bro,
I'm glad he's not Blade anymore.
In Blade 3, he's fake dead, and this shit happens for real.
Charlie is... Charlie is replicating perfectly the scene from Blade Trace. Just
Let me
Which,
just
by
ask
the
this real
way,
quick.
they were so pissed at Wesley Snipes. Blade 3 ends with Jessica Biel and Ryan Reynolds. Let me say that again. Jessica Biel and Ryan Reynolds. The two of them suddenly are werewolf hunters. They were trying to soft fucking launch anyone but Blade the movie.
They turned him into Jack and Jill in the woods.
Let me ask them real quick. So, what is this? I don't know if it's off topic. Is this a comic movie, the Everything Everywhere All at Once multiverse with this chick Michelle Yeoh? Is that Marvel?
That's so Michelle Yeoh she's in Marvel, yeah?
But so this is a Marvel movie, this whole multiverse thing movie that's coming out. Have you seen the preview for it yet?
I have not, no.
It's called Everything Everywhere All at Once. Actor Michelle Yeoh. It's the multiverse that she's in, and she gets like all these multiverses of her. And I saw the preview the other day, and I was like, "Whoa!"
It's just the same concept.
It's not. Yeah, it's not Marvel, but it's the same concept with the multiverse, right?
Correct.
But it's not Marvel. It's not a comic.
It's a great. Ellis in the chat coming to us over on Facebook said that we're loving it now, but it's going to be the thing that kind of killed comic book movies. I think comic book movies, just like comic books, are immortal. There's no
I think so too.
killing it because, again, let's not bullshit. And to fully talk Marvel versus DC, even cinematically, I'm a DC because Marvel, and I love them, and modern DC are fine. No one has produced a film better than Richard Donner's Superman for me. There are people who I know people who went to the like a preview screening of the new Batman, and they were like, it's the greatest 10 out of 10. And I'm like, oh shit, better than Keaton's? And they're like, well, not better than Keaton's.
See, but
so
that's so subjective, and this is something that Sarge and I talk about a fair amount. We both, and Sarge, you can add on to this.
Yeah.
I would literally rather listen to a turkey having all its feathers plucked out and shoved into an oven alive than to listen to a critic tell me that I should or shouldn't see something. I could not possibly care less. I have watched and loved movies, shows, what have you, comics, books, whatever, that critics have sworn on open Bibles, that they have sworn on loved ones, they have sworn on Plastic Man, and I have like hated, and vice versa. There are people that I know and trust are like, if you see this movie, you will be sterile, your credit will be ruined, and you will light on fire. And I sat there like, awesome, this movie's fucking awesome. So honestly, I don't give a fuck about what anybody else has to say. Now, that being said, I have heard equally great things about the Batman movie, but Charlie and I have a long-standing policy at this point, about 3 years worth, of like, no such thing as good or bad. I liked it, I didn't like it, or even like.
Which Batman movies have you guys liked the best?
Yo, I have a weird,
like your personal best, you know.
I have a very weird affinity for Batman Forever. It's not my favorite. I don't think it's the best, but to this day, legitimately, my favorite Batman Bruce Wayne performance, like Bruce No Ears. Val Kilmer is who, if I can't have Kevin Conroy and it's animated, my absolute favorite Bruce Wayne so far has been fucking
Batman
Val
Forever?
Kilmer. Yo, he played that like haunted, rich, handsome motherfucker thing best. My favorite Batman movie still, and it's corny as fuck on replay, Batman Returns rules. It's just Batman blows up a guy's dick with a bomb. Come on. Let's go, exploding dicks.
Batman Returns is my favorite Batman movie. Again, not using any subjective terminology, good, bad, worse, better, what have you. X-Men knows. Batman Returns, number one, is a Christmas movie. So right away, that's points in my book. The dual bad guy has, in my opinion, again, never been done better than fucking Michelle Pfeiffer and Danny DeVito. Michelle
DeVito
Pfeiffer,
Penguin is the best.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
She was dope too, yeah.
If she was like, "Oh, you liked my Catwoman? Guess what? I need a kidney." I'd be like, "Here's 2. Take both of my kidneys." She was so smoking hot in that fucking performance. Ah, goddamn. But it was just to me, it was the most Batman on the big screen that I had seen. Like, it was the
Best soundtrack,
character.
too.
I was
even as
7.
close as we got to, like, you're a junior. What can I
You
tell
were
you?
7? You were 7?
When Batman Returns came out, I was 7. I saw Michelle Pfeiffer in that costume. My full beard came in.
He was a man.
I went into that movie like, oh, I love how Batman is so.
Yeah,
I
that was
came
my
in, I was
favorite,
like,
too.
where the bitch is at?
Woo! Well, what about you, Sarge? What's your favorite?
That was my favorite. I mean, that was my favorite, but I really enjoyed the Christian Bale ones as well with Bane. I enjoyed those.
Those were very
I think
modern movies.
The general consensus is Dark Knight is the one you're supposed to say.
So. Yeah.
My problem with, and again, it's all subjective. The first half of Batman Begins, I think, is like pretty dope. Second half, I don't like. Dark Knight is great. Motherfucker doesn't detect shit, so gets disqualified.
But that's what they're saying about this new Batman flick. He's a detective.
Yeah,
for like
which is, I mean,
maybe the first time ever on the big screen. That's
My
his
only
superpower.
problem.
He's the world's greatest detective.
I mean,
Period.
when you have your second biggest villain in Raj Al Ghul calls you the detective, that's probably a pretty big part of your gimmick. But the problem with Rob Pattinson, he can't detect shit. His hair folds over his one eye. Little emo haircut, looking like Bieber in 2008.
Give him a
I'm
comb
gonna
back.
watch this one, to be honest.
I'm gonna watch it because, God forbid, if it's the worst thing ever, and I haven't watched it to bitch about it, I have done my disservice to my loving fans. Not Charlie's. They've come to expect that from him. But my people will be like, "Oh no, you did us dirty."
Again, you know, I just find it interesting because I do think that, you know, superhero movies, Marvel and DC, they have just ingrained themselves. There's action movies, there's comedy movies, there's rom-coms, there's all these subdivisions, and comic movies are just forever. So even if the train falls off the track because of all these multiverses, that shit's one fire movie away. When they reboot Iron Man, it's probably going to be the tits. And if they get rid of the fucking magic helmets for its sequels, I will certainly like them more.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do this because we did run late. So the conversation again is DC versus Marvel, Marvel versus DC. At the end of the day, it all boils down to storytelling. And Sarge said it best. Like, DC was first, so DC ends up having the OG characters, more of the, like, again, the underwear on the outside characters, the like. The American mythology type characters, whereas the Marvel more recent entrees, look at some of the most popular ones. Captain America was literally a soldier, was desperate to serve, wasn't able to for the longest time. Now by some miracle of modern science, now is like the best soldier. Spider-Man is a fucking kid. He's a teenager. He has teenage problems. The Marvel comics were more relatable because they were more modern. DC characters were gods up on a hill. Marvel was like, look, we're one of you. And the storytelling is good on both sides, I would say. And I'm very smart. However, I think that the true test of value comes from creativity. So I'm going to put this to you guys, and I've got the list so I can't cheat. The characters that Marvel stole, straight up ripped off from DC, as opposed to the characters that were ripped from the loving womb of Marvel from DC. Who came first? The chicken or the egg? Charlie, Sarge, who came first? Deadpool or Deathstroke?
Deathstroke.
Yeah, I would say Deathstroke.
So again, Deadpool's creator might want you to think the Merc with a Mouth didn't start off as a ripoff and mega popular assassin. Deathstroke was introduced in 1980. But let's be honest, his mercenary whose first appearance is trying to kill a teenage super team. He's got a healing factor. He uses a lot of weapons. His signature one is a sword. So the only difference between the two, Slade's family ties, they're basically the identical fucking character.
What was Deadpool in the 90s?
Deadpool ripped off Deathstroke. Deathstroke
What is
came
Deadpool,
first.
94? Does it say?
So Deathstroke came out in 1980. And Deadpool, it doesn't say his release date, but it was after 1980.
Yeah, we know it wasn't before.
Bumblebee versus Wasp, nobody really cares about them.
Bumblebee's the ripoff.
91 was Deadpool.
91.
91.
Nova Corps versus Green Lantern Corps.
Oh, I'm gonna say Green Lantern.
Nova Corps, we all know from
I'll
the
go-
Guardians movies, Captain Marvel. Green Lantern, we know from the terrible pre-Deadpool movie.
I will go
coming
Nova
up with
Corps.
a series. Okay. Sarge, what do you think?
Green Lantern.
Nova Corps it was. So
Wow.
Nova Corps ripped off Green Lantern, and again, Marvel's
Wow.
newer. Makes sense. Here's a big one.
Let's get rid of those
Aquaman.
helmets.
Aquaman or Namor.
Namor.
Aquaman.
Aquaman ripped off
Wow.
Namor. Aquaman. Your name is Aquaman.
Damn it.
How do you rip off a character and then pick a name that's way worse? You had all that time to come up with something fucking better.
At least they ripped off those little winglings from his ankle.
They did.
Oh
Like, give us those
my
goofy
God.
shits. These are really close. For many, many years, I thought this was literally the same person. Black Cat or Catwoman?
Ooh, that's probably gonna
Catwoman.
take Catwoman, I would say.
Because Catwoman, I'm going to...
Catwoman came first.
Yeah,
That's a
Catwoman.
point to each of you. Well done. Well done. All right, so we were talking about Captain America. DC has The Guardian, which most people don't fucking know who the hell that is, but he looks a hell of a lot like Captain America.
I'm still gonna say Captain America.
I'll go
Charlie?
Cap.
Captain America, he got it. He got
Yeah.
it. He got it. He got it. Sorry, Guardian. Again, you had
Is
a
Guardian
you,
Canadian?
you were the second to the fucking well, it's Jack Kirby, so you never really know. But like when you're second to the table, you have all that time. You're like, I'm going to rip them off, but I'm gonna make some improvements. They're like, nah, I'm gonna rip them off. I'm gonna do a shitty, terrible fucking version.
Shield Man.
Here's a big one. Darkseid or Thanos? Who came first?
Thanos.
I don't even know the Darkseid.
Darkseid
Imagine
is Thanos.
but it's a DC comic book.
Thanos.
So Darkseid came first.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
DC's Thanos beat the purple fucking ball chin to the table by a fair
We
amount.
need something
2
different.
years.
Instead of gray, let's make him purple. Not different enough. Let's attach many scrotums to his chin. Perfect.
Well, at least if you're gonna rip somebody off, at least like do a good job of changing the name. So this one I'll ask you, who was first, Man Thing or Swamp Thing?
Man Thing.
Swamp Thing.
The Sarge gets the point. It is Man Thing. Man Thing looking like Sergeant Finesse's backdrop right now. All loosey-goosey in the face. Swamp Thing's like, yeah, but look at me. I'm kind of handsome looking.
One of them.
He
General
looks like
Bomb
Poison Ivy's husband.
wanted to tell you, so when you're done with your podcast, she wants you to do the dishes.
Okay, I got it. I'll
Oh, Sarge got dish duty, son. Oh, that's rude. That is rude. All right, so we'll leave him off on this one. He just came off of a
Giant-sized
shockingly,
man thing is what the ladies call me.
shockingly successful show. No one saw this shit coming. Not even Natasha. And also, the other version has literally an entire shitty TV universe named after him. Who came first, Hawkeye or Green Arrow?
Green Arrow.
Yeah, I was gonna say Green Arrow too.
Oh, you fucking guys. You guys must be looking at the same article. Yes, indeed. Hawkeye was a fucking rip-off. Sorry, Jeremy Renner. all of 5'4" of January is fucking pissed. He came second. Sarge, what can I tell you? You got dishes to do. We cannot thank you enough for joining us here on US Comics Cast. Do me a favor though. Let's not wait 2 fucking years for your next appearance.
Yeah, I know.
Right? COVID be
like
damned.
7 months. COVID happened and the electronics weren't working for like 2 years, and we're back now.
This fucking guy's harder to book than John is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of US Comics Cast. If you guys are unaware, if you are unfamiliar, the Sarge is literally streaming all the time. All he does other than stream, he eats, he gets bubble guts, and he does dishes. The rest of the time, he's streaming. Check him out today.
And choking out my kids.
If you want to listen to the podcast version of the show, is available on every single podcast streaming service. The best thing you can do for us is drop a like, drop a share, leave a 5-star review. It helps us keep it free. It helps produce the comic. It's a way to make dreams reality. So do all the stuff you know you're supposed to do. My dear brother, there is no better time of the week than we get to have this show. I appreciate you always for it. I appreciate you, those beautiful people who are watching on YouTube, who are watching on Twitch, who are watching on Facebook, commenting, making sure that the party every Wednesday at 8 p.m. happens and goes smoother and smoother, even when my entire system just slides off my table. Over. And just shows the chaos of my background. There it is, just dropping those gas bombs. John!
Word.
Why don't you tell the Sarge?
Why
don't you tell the Sarge the way that we end? Not only this episode of US Comics, but how we end every episode of US Comics.
Look, Sergeant is the sergeant not because he's the baddest mother sucker on the block, not because he's the baddest, dudest fucking guy in chat. He knows what's up. Sarge has already joined our Discord over at US Comics HQ, so he's gonna be the first to pick up those NFTs. But if you haven't, this is your opportunity to do so. And when that's done, first you gotta turn the power on. Then you gotta turn the volume up. Then you gotta tune Bad Mary in. Open up the window wide and scream out into the night sky. Save me, Space Girl. We out.
Hey!